Top news: MLB trade deadline. Top 26 players who could be traded between now and July 31st. From Eugenio Suarez to Sandy Alcantara, these are the best players who might soon be on new teams. The 2025 MLB trade deadline is 9 days away, and many players could be on the move between now and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, July 31st. With this year's deadline shaping up to be pretty unpredictable, let's power rank the players who seem like candidates to be traded. Here are the top 26 players who might be wearing a new jersey come August 1st. There might not be a hotter hitter in baseball right now than Suarez. The D-backs third baseman seems to hit a home run almost every night and could very well be at 40 homers on the season by the time we get to next week's trade deadline. There are plenty of teams in on Suarez at this point, and given the way he's swinging the bat, he could be one of the biggest X factors down the stretch for a contender. Of all the names listed here, Gore is probably the least likely to be moved. But after the front office and managerial changes in DC, nothing can be ruled out with this team. That said, the Nationals keeping their talented young starter to continue building around a talented young core would not be the worst idea, either. Ryan doesn't have the name recognition of some others on this list, but he has proven to be as productive as any of them. A first-time All-Star this season, Ryan is having the best year of his career and has only gotten stronger as the season has gone on. He has a 1.80 ERA in 4 starts in July. Clase has been the best closer in baseball since 2021, recording the most saves in that span. Clase had one of the best seasons we've ever seen from a reliever in 2024, but in the postseason, for the first time in a long time, he didn't look dominant. Fortunately, Clase has regained his elite ability this year, with a 1.17 ERA since May 1st. Will Cleveland truly be a deadline seller? The Guardians have a closer in waiting in Cade Smith and could expedite their return to AL Central relevance if they decide to move their franchise leader in saves. Paul Skenes isn't the only Pittsburgh pitcher that teams have been salivating over. Keller has put himself on the map this season, and unlike his teammate Skenes, he's a realistic candidate to be traded. After signing an extension in 2024, Keller has 3 years of club control after this season. Lugo has been one of the most consistent arms in the American League since he got to Kansas City in 2024, and he's the type of starter a contender could pencil into their postseason rotation. Lugo has a player option for next season, so while he's not an unrestricted free agent at the end of 2025, his future with a team acquiring him would be unclear. Given how well he has pitched since signing in KC, Lugo choosing to go back on the free agent market can't be ruled out. Things have not gone well in the desert this season, but the Arizona right-hander has gotten back to being one of the best in the National League. Kelly, a free agent at season's end, has plenty of postseason experience and should have his fair share of suitors as we approach the deadline. The Twins' tandem of reliever Jax and closer Duran have turned into an elite duo at the back end of the Twins' bullpen. Duran has saved at least 23 games in each of the past 2 seasons and is on pace to reach that mark again this year. Jax has some of baseball's best swing and miss stuff, with a K/9/14 this season. Both Duran and Jax could be weapons come October, and neither is a free agent until 2028, which is an added bonus. It once appeared that the Pirates had missed their opportunity to move their former All-Star closer, as Bednar began the 2025 season struggling and was demoted out of the closer role. But after working through his struggles, Bednar has returned to elite form. Since May 24th, he has not allowed an earned run. He would be an elite addition to any contender's bullpen. You can make the case that coming into the season, only one closer in baseball was more dominant than Cardinals closer Helsley, and that would be Clase. Like Clase, Helsley didn't look like himself to begin the 2025 season, but he has started to find his form at the perfect time to give St. Louis a big trade piece at the deadline. Naylor knows how to produce runs, and his ability to be a thumper in the middle of a lineup has moved with him from Cleveland to Arizona. Naylor is on pace for a career high in hits, and though he's not known for slugging, he provides more than enough power with a 126 OPS+. With his contract expiring at the end of 2025, the D-backs first baseman is an intriguing name for teams in need of a left-handed bat. One of the best starters in the National League for the past several years, Gallen is an ace when he's right. The problem is, He just hasn't been right in 2025, and for the entire first half, things looked bad for the Arizona right-hander. But in recent weeks, Gallen has started to turn the corner. He's still not his old self yet, but he might be a worthwhile gamble for the right team. In the postseason, playoff teams need a player who can do it all, and Twins utility man Castro could be the player on this year's market who fits that mold. Castro has a lot of the skills that made Tommy Edmonds such an intriguing addition for the Los Angeles Dodgers at last year's deadline. He has played every position on the diamond outside of catcher and is putting together his best offensive season yet. Assuming the Twins move him, Castro might go down as the most underrated player acquired at the deadline. Since he arrived in Baltimore, O'Hearn has had a resurgence and provided a spark for the Orioles. Although Baltimore as a whole has disappointed this season, O'Hearn has continued to thrive, earning his first All-Star nod. With a keen ability to get on base and low strikeout numbers, O'Hearn has a unique skill set that stands out among the bats on this year's trade market. No player on this list has a higher upside than Alcantara. When he's right, he's one of the best starting pitchers in the world, as seen when he won the 2022 NL Cy Young Award. But in his first full season back following Tommy John surgery in 2023, things have not gone well for Alcantara. He looked to be trending up in June, but July has been a struggle thus far, as he has a 7.94 ERA in 3 starts. If the Marlins don't see improvement or get the deal they want for Alcantara, his 2 more years of club control might lead them to wait to move him until the offseason. Alcantara isn't the only Marlins starter getting some trade attention. Right-hander Cabrera has quietly had a strong season in South Beach and has actually been more productive than his teammate Alcantara. Cabrera is the type of high-upside arm who could be a monster down the stretch in the right team's hands. Maton is going to make a contender very happy at this year's deadline. The Cardinals' right-hander is having the best season of his career, with a 2.48 ERA, and he brings with him plenty of postseason experience. The Orioles are expected to move only players on expiring deals, and that means left-hander Soto could be one of their most valuable assets at this year's deadline. He has plenty of high-leverage experience, and with the Boston Red Sox headed toward being buyers, Aroldis Chapman probably won't be available. For teams looking for a power arm from the left side, Soto might be their man. Considering that we have a market desperate for starting pitchers, the White Sox might have struck gold when they took a flyer on right-hander Houser heading into 2025. Houser has been fantastic in his stint in Chicago, putting himself on the radar of teams in need of starting pitching. For a team such as the White Sox that has to find developmental wins as they rebuild, Houser is a huge developmental win. Santana, like Bednar, has been able to stand out in Pittsburgh and has shown himself to be capable of getting plenty of swing and miss. The Pirates' right-hander has one of the best sliders in the game, ranking 10th in MLB in run value with the pitch. Santana is the type of arm that could bolster a bullpen in a big way. Iglesias has been closing games for a long time, and in his 11th season in the big leagues, he's still getting it done. The Braves' closer was unhittable last season, with a sub-2.00 ERA, and while things have not quite been as automatic this season, Iglesias still has the ability to close or be part of a high-leverage duo or a trio for a team that already has a dominant closer. A free agent at season's end, Iglesias should have his fair share of suitors. Ozuna has been a force since his arrival in Atlanta, and he's capable of carrying a lineup for weeks at a time. Injuries have seen the Braves slugger take a step back in 2025, but right-handed power is a valuable asset, and Ozuna would bring plenty of it to a needy contender. The White Sox's star was in hibernation for the entire first half, looking like a shell of the all-star he was in 2023. But since the break, Robert has shown flashes of the special talent he has shown he can be when healthy. Chicago's center fielder is an intriguing name, as he has the most talent among the center fielders available and comes with 2 club options after the season. Will he deliver enough production down the stretch to make that worth it for a contender? Since his arrival in the big leagues, Hayes has never lived up to his top prospect hype. But one thing the Pirates' third baseman has delivered is elite defense at third base. If not for Nolan Arenado, we might be talking about Hayes as a multi-time Gold Glove Award winner at the hot corner. Meanwhile, his bat is fine hitting at the bottom of a playoff-caliber lineup, where he's not expected to be a run producer. Many believed Cedric Mullins would be the Orioles' outfielder moved at the deadline, but Laureano has been getting the attention, and for good reason.